Hey everybody, welcome back to FeedbackLoop. I'm Joey.
And I'm Jeremy.
And it's been a long fucking time since we recorded.
It's been a little over a month at this point. We just took a break, you know?
Yeah.
And that's fine.
It was summer break.
Yeah, it's summertime anyway. So we quote unquote went on vacation, even though we didn't.
Yeah. It was a staycation.
A staycation. Yeah, just a work break. A hiatus, if you will. I still need to catch up on uploads, but we're getting back in the groove, getting back to it. I think, hopefully, getting my shit together.
Getting my shit together.
So we'll have more hashtag content because we are hashtag content creators.
Hell yeah,
dude! I hate that. That's like the thing. It's the job title of content creator is meaningless.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything anymore. And I guess it never really did. But like it's just buzzwords.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
I feel like it stood for something one time.
Well, it's like
back in the day.
Video games, right? Downloadable content. Content is just something to be consumed.
Yeah.
Content is literally anything. So if you're saying you're a content creator, like nowadays, obviously that typically means like a viral YouTube sensation or a Twitch streamer, or something like that. But like, it's just fluff words, and I hate it.
Musicians are content creators.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like film producers and directors and stuff, right? They are.
Yeah,
and like fucking authors and
oh my god, could you imagine going up to like fucking James Cameron being like, oh, he's the famous content creator.
The famous content creator.
He would have an aneurysm.
Yeah, it's weird to me. I don't know what started that. Oh, it was because I said that we were content creators.
We're off our game. Don't worry, we'll be back eventually.
Yeah, we're gonna rein it in. We'll focus up. This is season 3.5. I'm calling it. I don't think it's any official demarcation, but we're back from our hiatus. Got some new vibes. We don't have anything planned necessarily to talk about, so we're just kind of catching up. Joey, you told me that you have something to rant about, and I guess I want to get to that first, just in case it does take a lot of time.
Okay, I don't think it'll take a lot of time. It's mainly just. So, as people who actually pay attention to our podcast know, I have a daughter. She's 7 years old at this point, and she started. Yeah, I know, it's fucking nuts. So she's starting to like listen to music that wasn't music that we put on. I guess like she has friends, specifically a friend in this case, who are like she's listening to their music whenever she's over at their house or whatever.
She's being exposed. Yeah,
being exposed to other music. This specific friend, I guess, listens to Katy Perry.
Oh, no.
So she started to listen to Katy Perry, and, like, I'm not talking the hits, like, the number one hits, like, the deep cuts and everything. And to begin my rant, I've never necessarily been a fan of Katy Perry. Like, I can kind of go with a lot of the pop music. Katy Perry's music in particular, I have never found anything of substance in. Other than the fact that there was a Juicy J feature on Dark Horse. Because I fucking love Juicy J.
There's no going back.
Dude, oh my god. He's so... just everything about him, his character, I love it. That's the one redeeming quality.
She also had a big hit with Kanye.
She did have a big hit with E.T., yes. But that was the alternate version of E.T. I think there was a version of E.T. that Kanye didn't have him. Yeah,
for sure.
But, so I'd never listened to any of the Katy Perry deep cuts, so I was content just kind of not liking her, I guess.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to not necessarily be too mean, she comes off as extremely fucking stupid.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Not that
I don't know if that's like acting to a degree, or if that's just like who she is. I mean, who's to say she's the millionaire, right?
Exactly. I mean, she's doing a lot fucking better than I am. Yeah. I can admit that I'm stupid, but like, I don't know. There was just like, I don't necessarily like Neil deGrasse Tyson, but there was that interview with him where she was just like, is science math or some, like, I don't know. She said some dumb thing. Is science math is actually a valid question, but
right.
but it was something like that. And it just struck me the wrong way. Every interview I've ever seen with her, she seems not like a person that I would care to hear their thoughts on stuff. So I listened to some of her deep cuts because I had to, and holy shit, it's so much worse than I ever thought.
Wow. Like, that is not the direction I expected it to go.
So her album specifically, Prism, there's this song, the first song that I'm going to bring up is
that
called,
the one with Roar?
Yeah, it has Roar, it has Dark Horse on it. And
gotcha.
Yeah,
so it's like what, 2013-ish?
Yeah, 2013.
Nailed it.
Dude, you know your Katy Perry lore.
I don't. It's just like a vague like awareness, I guess.
I mean, yeah,
like around
you probably
that
remember.
Time.
You remember when Roar came out.
Right.
And I think Roar, because my daughter is very into animals, she heard the song Roar. She's like, oh, roar like a lion. And it hit her. So yeah. I think that's why she gravitated towards it. But so Roar is the first track on that album. And it's whatever. It's fine. It's a pop song. And I've heard it a million times.
There's no substance to it.
Yeah, but it doesn't irritate me because I've heard it so many times, I guess. The second song on that album is called Legendary Lovers. And
I don't think I've heard it.
By God, is it a fucking awful song. Like,
really?
Jesus. It is. So, I mean, like, the intro, whenever she first starts talking about it, she's talking about, I guess, this person who she feels like she's really into. But she just, like, starts mentioning, like, auras and shit. And it just, like, brings in this
Back in 2013?
Yeah. So she was ahead of the curve on this, like, crystals.
Yeah.
Shit, whatever. But I don't know. Just, like, from that moment, I was just like, oh, no. What am I in for? And she just like, because my daughter likes it, so we're putting it on because she chooses the music whenever she wants to.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I fucking in for? And then it continues with Birthday and Walking on Air, which I mean are also just dismal songs. But then Unconditionally, which I think was like, I mean, it was a hit, definitely, by far, like, subjectively, but like for her it was a minor hit. But the way she fucking pronounces unconditionally in the song Unconditionally is really annoying to me.
How does she pronounce it?
It's like unconditionally, like the whole song.
Gotcha.
And it's like a very distinct every syllable is a thing. And all you people out there who are thinking I'm being nitpicking right now, I am. I 100% am. But like, it's just got to me because I've had to hear these songs so many times.
No, it's totally valid. I feel the same fucking way about Eminem saying omnipotent.
Oh my God.
It drives me fucking crazy. And there's you could make the argument that it's intentional and that it's like because he's saying that he's potent to everyone. Right, yeah. He's spitting venom, you know. He's doing his thing, but it just drives me fucking crazy because he's like, "You be Thor and I'll be Odin, you rodent. I'm omnipotent." And I'm just like, no, it's omnipotent. It has to be omnipotent, and it's totally something that doesn't matter at all. Nobody gives a fuck, right? It's rap.
But you do. I mean, you give.
But
a fuck.
It irks me, something fierce, and I can't explain why.
Yeah.
But yeah, so back to Katy Perry, she's not off the hook. I haven't experienced a lot of her music. I have a friend who is a fan of Katy Perry, swears by her music. It's like, no, like she's great. And this guy listens to almost exclusively modern metalcore.
What?
That's all he listens to. He does not listen to any other genre except for Katy Perry. And I don't know why. I don't remember how it came about, but so I've had secondhand exposure from him in her 2017 album. I looked it up. I'm not just guessing. I'm not a genius at that. Her 2017 album, Witness, had a lot of like house hits on it.
Yeah.
And she like changed her style to like kind of, I guess it was the trend is to get some more like electronic, upbeat kind of housey stuff in it. and her single "Swish Swish Swish" with Nicki Minaj, it tilts me a little bit, but I'm also like, I'm wanting to give her the benefit of the doubt. So the song opens up with the classic house sample of the they know what is what, but they don't know what is what. They just strut. What the fuck? Which is like, it's a deep cut.
Yeah.
That's from like 2000. It's a Roland. It's a DJ Leroy featuring Roland Clark. Song is the original sample, but it kind of comes back to what we talked about previously, of that, like, it drives me crazy because the people listening to that and mimicking that, right? All of the people that listened to that song and thought, oh, that's a fun thing to say, and they're repeating it. They don't know what it's from.
Yeah.
They think it's a Katy Perry exclusive.
Yeah.
And it's fucking not. And it's like, okay, Jeremy, calm down. Maybe if at the very least somebody involved in the production of that understood.
Yeah.
And they wanted to use that sample. And so for that person who is part of her, 20, 30 person writing team and production crew, whatever, they're getting something out of it. They get it. And they're wanting to imbue that kind of classic house tradition in a modern pop setting. And so, like, I have to back myself down off of that edge,
because that point of view is admirable. It's like, okay, you want to integrate something that meant something to you into what you're doing now,
right?
And that means something. But
yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, there's no fucking way Katy Perry's listening to that. She doesn't know that shit. There's no way. And that's, again, dismissive. I don't know Katy Perry. Maybe she loves classic house music. That's just not the vibe that I get. That's not the impression that I get, as the Boss Tones would say. But it's just, I don't know. It irks me. Katy Perry irks me in a lot of small ways, just like she irks you in a lot of small ways. I will say, Roar, I pointed out because I am familiar with that song because of a remix of that song. And honestly, like, even the original has a really, like, nice growly bass to it.
Yeah.
Like, I love the kind of synth bass that they use for that song.
It's not a bad song. I will go on record saying it's not.
It's not a great song in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I like it musically more than, lyrically or contextually, I suppose. And a lot of that is because of that remix that just like took it somewhere fun and interesting from it, which, looking back on it, probably that remix isn't great either. It was of the times, right, in 2013, when I was listening to a lot of, like, trap remixes of things, of pop songs and whatnot. But yeah, I totally understand the gut instinct to dismiss Katy Perry.
Yeah.
It blows my mind, and she's an easy target, right? She's you always want to punch up, and she's as high up as you can fucking get, outside of, like, Beyonce perhaps. But Beyonce actually, is way better vocalist in my opinion.
Exactly. Beyonce is, like, supremely talented.
And that's not to say that Katy Perry isn't. Again, I don't want to, like, I respect the hell out of Katy Perry.
She's doing
from
her
a
thing,
career standpoint,
and is great at it. What she's doing, she's
a good performer.
Yeah,
she doesn't necessarily write her own songs or music; she performs them, and there's something there. I mean, a lot of, like, classical, like, jazz standards, right? Those aren't being rewritten, right?
Yeah.
They were written by one person, and then everyone else has kind of copied it. It's a tradition in jazz, right? You have to know, like, your jazz standards on your instrument,
and then you do your thing on top of them,
right? You improvise, you make it unique, you make it your own. And so, like, it's hard for me. It's not hard for me. It's really easy for me to pick on Katy Perry, but I also, like, try to have a more positive outlook on that, of just, like, she's a performer.
Yeah.
I can accept that she's a good performer, even if I don't like her music. I don't think she's a good musician necessarily. I don't even necessarily think she's a good vocalist, but she's a good performer.
Yeah.
So there's that. And I leave it at that for the most of the part. It's not for me. I'm okay with her existing, and I respect the hell out of her hustle and her, I mean, she made it work. Yeah. And she also, like, she comes from relatively humble beginnings, I think.
More humble than a lot of the people who end up in her place.
Compared to her arch rival, Taylor Swift, who... Which...
I like Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Like,
but she came from a well-off household.
yeah, and had
And
connections.
Katy Perry might have. I just remember that like Katy Perry got her start doing like backup vocals for POD. That fact will never leave my mind.
Yeah, she was like a religious person to begin with.
Yeah. And she, Katy Perry is not her name, not her birth name. She released, I think, an album under her
actual name
originally, before becoming the pop sensation, Katy Perry. But yeah, that's a fun.
I remember she had that song like "You're So Gay."
Yeah, and you don't even
still
like boys.
Is like looking back on it, and it's like, huh? Okay,
that's of the times.
That is of the times.
Yeah, it's like you want to kind of defend it because it's like you don't even like boys, and you're so gay. But like also like what is that mean? What is the root there? What is the core of what she was getting at, and how does that apply to the current climate?
Which, if she's not writing her own songs, I mean, maybe she. What if that's one of the only songs she wrote? I don't know. I don't know
at what point she stopped writing her own music. I assumed it was when she became Katy Perry.
Yeah.
I'm talking out of my ass though.
Yeah, me too. 100%.
I have not done a deep dive on Katy Perry's background.
Everything I'm saying right now is reactionary. It is not based in research.
Exactly.
There's nothing going on in my mind here other than like, God, I've had to hear these songs so many times and I don't like them. I haven't even grown to like them, which I won't say is with Taylor Swift, because there's a decent chunk of Taylor Swift's archive that I do enjoy, at least in some way.
Sure.
Mainly her newer stuff, not necessarily the older stuff, but I've heard the older stuff enough now because, I mean...
It's familiar.
Yeah, it's familiar. And it's like, Alyssa's mom is a hardcore Swiftie. Like, she fucking is all about Taylor Swift to the point where...
Those people scare me.
Yeah, Alyssa's dad, like, for her mom's birthday, I guess Taylor Swift has this, like, anti-Ticketmaster, like, make sure the fans actually get the tickets thing, where you have to, like, be a part of her club and, like, interact so much and whatever, and then you can get the tickets first, like, you get first dibs if you prove that you're a fan or whatever. So he, like, made an account and did all this shit just to get her tickets for her birthday, and that was, like, this. Yeah, no, it was a very nice thing. I don't know if I would do that, which is a problem.
Yeah, I would not do it for Taylor Swift.
That's a me problem. But,
for sure.
Like, so I've heard those songs a ton, and I've grown to like them, I guess, more than I cared for them in the past.
Sure.
But, like, Katy Perry has not had that effect on me.
Yeah, and there's also, like, respect behind that, and that both of us understand that Taylor Swift probably has a greater deal of songwriting credit to her than Katy Perry does, right? Katy Perry has a huge team. Again, not necessarily a bad thing. I fail to make solo music, so like I can't blame her for getting somebody to help her with that shit.
And I mean, that's
it's
the
hard
point
to write
of a
music.
Product. Yeah. Like she doesn't need to write her own music. She has to perform. Like going back to she's a performer. She has to perform her music, and that's the point.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. It's hard for me to like be completely honest when being dismissive of Katy Perry's talent and Taylor Swift's talent and stuff like that, because like they're making it work, man. They found their thing and they're doing it, and hopefully they're happy doing it.
Yeah.
Right. That's what life's about. In a completely different direction from something that is nitpicky and like hinging on very small things, I suppose. I listened to Post Malone's new album.
Ooh, okay. Austin? That's what it's called, right?
Austin is the name of it, yeah. Because naturally, I am influenced by things that I see. Marketing works. And Post Malone did a Last Meals thing with the Mythical Kitchen.
Hell yeah. With Chef Josh.
With Chef Josh.
Yeah.
Mythical Chef Josh. But yeah, so I was like, yeah, I'll check out the album, because I never had like a negative association with Post Malone. And I was like, I think I listened to one of his albums on my road trip.
Was it Stoney or was it?
No.
Was it the Bentleys and?
I think it was that one.
I can't remember the second word. I like both
Hollywood. Hollywood's Bleeding is the album.
Oh, okay.
Which was 2019.
With like circles on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't remember anything about that album.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not inherently a bad or good thing. I think like It washed off of me, I think. So it's like, yeah, this is a good time to take another chance, right? Post Malone's a cool dude from everything I've seen. He's just a genuinely like super cool, chill, kind guy. He's got his head on right, and people respect his music as well.
Yeah.
So okay, I'll check out this album. It also kind of washed off me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, I don't know, there's a weird dissociation. I don't know if that's the right word. There's a word that I'm thinking of, dissonance between him as a person and him as a songwriter, I think.
Yeah.
Which is weird because like seeing him in that interview for Last Meals, again, he's so like humble and so like down to earth and like talking about his family and how that's like super important to him and stuff. And then I listened to this album and there's a lot of like, tropey rap stuff about fucking bitches and all this stuff and getting drunk and getting high and stuff. And like that stuff tends to wash off me. However, in an inverse Katy Perry way, there's a line that stood out to me in the second track. The song's called Something Real, but it made me laugh and it put a smile on my face. And he sings, gosh, I don't know. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I just want to like be true to his delivery of the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he says, I can play that pussy like it's furries or something like that. I'm just like, that's so like, it's something that's so small and meaningless in the grand context of this whole album.
Yeah.
And like the line itself, again, is tropey, hip hoppy. I could play that pussy like it's furries, saying like, yeah, dude, I got sex down. Sex is my thing. I've got that handle.
If there's one thing in life I'm good at, it's sex.
It's sex, which just like, again, washes off of me. It doesn't mean anything to me. It makes me kind of zone out and tune out. But it was just like, okay, that's a fun way to like acknowledge it and like also say that I'm talented. Like, and the fact that he's like sang the melody to it, right? So there's that contextual like lyrics mirroring the melody kind of a thing. It was just like a fun line. I'm like, good for you, Posty, for like for having a sense of humor, but also like respecting, well established classical music, I suppose. Which I mean, everyone's heard Furlies, right?
Yeah, but not everybody knows the name.
Sure,
is the thing.
Sure.
So
and furthermore, like, will people listening to that, like his audience, do they know that's the association that he's making? Right? They could think, oh, he's just doing a cool melody. Like they could have heard that melody and it's like, yeah, that's cool, but like, what the fuck is for Elise, right? They might not necessarily even connect those two, but I just thought, like, I don't know, it was just a fun little nugget amongst an album that I remember literally nothing else about.
See, that's the thing. I fucking love Post Malone. I will admit. So I can't remember the name of it. Hollywood's
Burning.
Burning. Yeah. That was my least favorite of his albums. I fucking love Bleeding. Hollywood's Bleeding. I fucking love Stoney. I fucking loved Beer Bongs and Bentleys. And I liked both of those albums. Hollywood's Bleeding. Austin, from what I've heard, I have not listened to the whole album yet. From what I've heard, I like it more than Hollywood's Bleeding. Don't like it as much as Stoney and Beer Bongs and Bentleys. But as a person, like after I heard, I think it was Congratulation, then I heard White Iverson. And then I looked him up on YouTube and I saw that he did a fucking Bob Dylan cover. Like before he was famous, playing guitar, and like his voice is just so naturally good. And he's, like you said, like down to earth. He's just like super cool. And everything I've seen in him, like seen about him, where he's just like being himself, which, disclaimer, could just be a fucking character. I don't know.
He could be a master actor,
I literally do not fucking know. I believe him though, so I'm going to say it's him. But like, he's just seems like a super cool dude who's just like really appreciative to be where he's at, and like everything I would hope to see out of a person in his position.
Agreed. He's a role model.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
even though again, his lyrics maybe not something you want your kids aspiring to.
Yeah,
as a person.
In another way, I'm like, is he just doing that like to sell the albums?
Yeah,
like because he could. I
it's
mean,
his job. Yeah,
yeah, like it sells to the most amount of people. He's a pop star.
yeah, and then
That's
like
the business.
on top of that, because like you just said, that is the business of it, right? There's a record label and there are producers telling him like, hey, this is what you have to do. This is the way to make it. Like obviously he gets creative control
Yeah,
for, I would assume, the majority of the stuff on his album, but like there's still this pressure from, you know, executives, people that aren't making music necessarily, to say like, no, like we need you to sell this number of albums or whatever.
yeah,
Your contract stipulates that you got to like make an attempt to make this money back or whatever.
and
But
he fucking does.
oh,
like,
for sure, and I think his personality helps sell that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it got me to listen to his album, someone who
Yeah.
doesn't really give a shit about that kind of hip hop and still doesn't necessarily like the album, but like it works.
Yeah.
he's a cool dude. I want to root for him. I want him to
Exactly.
be successful. He
Yeah.
doesn't need my support, right? He's already vastly successful, but he's a true musician, I think. And like you kind of alluded to and mentioned that like he has a respect for music.
Yeah.
And he understands the roots of what he is and like what the forefathers essentially, and he's done a lot of those like out of character covers, right? You wouldn't expect a hip-hop artist to do a lot of like country or like folk covers and stuff, but he does. He's consistently done that stuff throughout his career, I think. Because I remember seeing him, I don't remember what it was, but I saw him play he joined some other band on stage and like performed with them, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Him just like respecting the art of it,
Yeah.
and not just trying to make money off of it. So yeah, totally cool dude, totally cool role model as a musician, I think. But just try harder for your lyrics, man. I will say he acknowledged on the last meals thing that he wrote this album, that this is the first album I think that he wrote with a guitar, which I think is super cool. For inspiration, right? Trying something with a different instrument that you're not as familiar with can be a huge like creative inspiration, or like tuning your guitar in a way that you're not familiar with, or picking up, you know, just having weird new shit to fuck around with and let that inspire you to do new and fun things is like huge kudos for him for like picking up a guitar and then learning how to play it.
Man, Post Malone, if you're out there, talk to us because we think you're cool.
Yeah, I mean, I do dislike your album, I think is safe to say. Yeah. But I don't dislike you, and I think you'll understand that, right? Yeah. You're a cool enough down to earth guy, right? You
also, shout out to the cover I was talking about. Don't Think Twice, It's All Right is the name of the song. It's a Bob Dylan song. He covered it. And he does a fucking excellent job about it. So
yeah, like I said, he respects the music that came before him, right? He's passionate about music, I guess. And that feels like more than you can say for a lot of modern hip hop artists, I think, which is obviously dismissive and generalizing stuff. But yeah, just good on him for keeping it real, you know, for being the genuine article of a musician. I think it helps sell him to me, even if I don't necessarily like his music. I respect the hell out of him.
Go listen to Stoney.
I might.
I would recommend that.
I'll give it a listen just for you.
Yeah.
Other things I've been listening to quickly as we wrap up. I listened to Caroline Polachek's album that came out this year. She does like hyperpop stuff.
Oh hell yeah! Okay,
it was okay.
To that tonight.
it was okay. I think there's a very strong single on it called "Smoke." I don't know if I was in the right headspace for that full album. It's not hyperpop in the like AG Cook kind of fashion. But she's provided vocals for like Flume and stuff. So it's a bit more like synthy and electronic and just kind of like vibey. she's a great performer as well, great vocalist, and I think she writes her stuff. But yeah, someone recommended her in a Discord, another Discord that I'm in. They actually started doing a music club thing where everyone would bring a song that this week's theme, or I guess it was last week's theme, was just like a favorite song, just something that you wanted to share with the group. And someone brought in her single "Smoke," and I was like, damn, that's actually really good. I knew this album came out and I never listened to it, so I went and listened to that. But yeah, that's just another fun rec, I guess, to wrap up. Do you got any cool recs for things you've been listening to?
If we're throwing out recs, the Front Bottoms just released a new EP called "You Are Who You Hang Out With," and standout track from that album. I mean, the whole thing is good, but "Clear Path," it's track 4 on the EP, really fucking good. I mean, the whole thing's really good. "Clear Path" is like extra good. So
I feel like that phrase has crossed my eyes.
The Front Bottoms?
No, "You Are Who You Hang Out With."
Oh.
Which I know is like just like a general like idiom kind of thing, but like,
yeah,
I'm trying to figure out what it was. I think it was also in the context of music that someone released, but I don't think it was them. So maybe it's just some weird serendipity thing.
Maybe they're copying. Maybe they're plagiarizing.
Could be. Or it could be a cover EP.
Yeah, that could be. Maybe
like,
"Clear Path" is a song I haven't heard yet. I'm sorry.
Well, no. I'm saying the Front Bottoms released their EP, and then someone else was like, "Hey, I'm going to cover this whole EP."
Oh yeah,
just fucking knock that out of the park.
Well, it came out like 2 weeks ago, so that'd be a really quick cover.
That's plenty of time. Anyways, I think it about does it. We managed to fill half an hour with our rants and nitpicks.
Hell yeah. I love it, man. This is a good way to get back into it.
Back in season 3.5, coming right back at you. Listen to our recs and stay in our feedback loop.
Bye.